So there's like a huge thunderstorm outside right now, and it's 11 o'clock at night. My birthday finally ended almost in 45 minutes. Woo, 21! So the madness of the day started out with me waking up, with my parents giving me clothes, and I went to breakfast at Burger King, ate with a coworker, and my shift, well, what to say about the shift? I worked with Patrick, Clavette, and Sophie. I ended up making it with Sophie, apologizing to her about a few things, and, well, I'm glad we finally get it settled. And Patrick, well, he winked at me, and then it just set me off. I don't know why. I just had a breakdown. I was like, what the fuck do you want? You wink at me, you want me one week, the next week you don't want me. And I guess it just all built up, and it all came out at once over a week. Yes, over a week. He's like, sad thing is, Liz, I don't want you. I'm like, okay then. And then he kind of got mean, you know? He was just like, I could say something, but I won't. He always says that. I could say something, but I won't. And then he goes to cleaning. And I just looked really sad, which I kind of was, but not as sad as I made myself seem. He's like, Liz, no, I didn't mean it. You shouldn't take everything so personal. Do you want a hug? And then he gave me this real deep hug. And then Toner came through drive-thru to make sure I was, like, we were still going for our date. And you could tell he was totally excited. And Patrick, that comes up behind me. He starts, like, rubbing himself up against from behind me. And then he would kick my leg under so I would fall into him. He'd be like, Liz, stop it. Stop it. And I'd be like, thanks, Patrick. Stop touching me right now. Like, the more I wanted to touch me, the more he did go ahead and touch me. And Sophie had no idea that he had kissed me last week, and I'm like, yeah, it happened. And he totally was trying to fly himself out of it, but he couldn't. So as he was counting my total, I was getting ready to leave. He goes, well, why did you tell me that? And I'm like, why the fuck do you think so? You kissed me one day, and the next day, you're like, I'm in love with Milan. Well, Jesus, just make your fucking mind up. I'm like, why don't you just be single and hook up? I really mean that. Like, I like him, but I don't want to date him. I do want to hook up with him. Kind of. I don't know anymore. Like, I still think he's gay. It's a really fucked up situation. And besides that, I went on my date with Toner, and we went to Pizza Delight, and I had a panzone and a Caesar salad. Then we went to Canadian Tire on an epic adventure, and then we went to the movies and seen. So first we went to go look at Cars for prom. They're going to take a big ram. It's a huge machine, so I have to pick up. And then we went to go see The Hangover 2, which was really epic, hilarious, made my life. Whether there was one funny moment at Burger King, I forget to recall how me and Patrick started flirting. He was down on his knees, and I was like, can you pass me that bag while you're down there? And he was like, yeah. And I started laughing. He's like, you think it's funny, don't you? And then he, like, obviously got awkward, and he knocked something over, and I went, come go back. And I got ice all over him. He goes, now I'm wet. And John looks, and I'm like, yeah, he's on the floor, and he's down on his knees, and he's wet. And John's like, well, okay then. It was hilarious, actually, if you've been there. Anyways, so, home now, thunderstorm, almost 12, kind of tired. Didn't really accomplish much with either Patrick's or anyone. No birthday sex, sadly. Anyways, have a good night. Hopefully my sex life will pick up at some point, and I'll have something to blog about. But till then, we'll listen to boring Burger King life. Later.